It all kicked off on a calm Saturday morning when I opened my front door, coffee in hand, to find her leopard print robe, fuzzy boots, and a face flushed with fury. Susan Mitchell, though everyone called her Susan, stood on my porch, ranting that her Tesla had been possessed by gremlins. The dashboard, she swore, was flashing like a casino slot machine. I took a sip of my coffee, wondering if now was the moment to reveal the truth. She'd been siphoning electricity from my outdoor outlet for weeks, and I'd finally given her a little surprise. Let's get one thing straight, this isn't a tall tale. This is what happens when a self-proclaimed vice president of a made-up HOA tries to rule the wrong neighborhood. I'm Nathan Brooks, just a guy trying to live quietly on my 1-acre lot with a modern house and minimal HOA rules. I'm an electrical engineer, not some suburban vigilante, but Susan, aka Madam Vice President of the Neighborhood Enhancement Committee, had other ideas. Her campaign started the day I moved in. I'd been there barely 6 hours when a typed note appeared on my door, griping that my visible ladder was a violation. Then came the mailbox inspection, followed by a complaint about my trash can's pickup timing. I let it slide until my power bill spiked by $180. A quick system check and a review of my security camera footage revealed the culprit, Susan's sleek white Tesla, backing into my driveway at 11:47 p.m., a cable running from my outlet to her car like it was her personal charging station. She did it like clockwork, robe on, hair tied back, strutting away with smug satisfaction. I installed a power monitor with Wi-Fi logging. Over 2 weeks, her car siphoned nearly 70 kilowatt horse, about $174 worth of electricity. When I calmly confronted her, she blinked like I'd asked for her firstborn. "Oh, I thought it was a community outlet," she lied. I zip-tied the outlet. 2 days later, she cut the ties. I installed a lock. The next day, the box was scratched and tampered with. Then came the real kicker, a $200 HOA fine for obstructing communal utilities. That's when I realized Susan wasn't just an annoying neighbor, she was a petty tyrant twisting a vague HOA clause about visible elements being subject to community access. So, I got to work. I repurposed an old irrigation controller, disguising it as a normal outlet box. Inside, I wired a custom low-voltage shock relay that triggered a harmless but chaotic Tesla light show, flickering dashboard, dinging chimes, blinking headlights. It wouldn't damage her car, just make her think it was haunted. The night it activated, Susan bolted outside, screaming about demonic tech, accusing me of witchcraft. I nodded and sipped my coffee. But that wasn't the end. Her garden, secretly hooked up to my private well via a hidden hose, was about to get a sewage-powered wake-up call. Her decorative planters filled with pressurized wastewater. You'd think that was the climax, but Nuth's story was just warming up. Susan doubled down, calling me a techno-rebel at HOA meetings, waving Tesla diagnostics, and claiming I'd spiritually disrupted neighborhood harmony. So, I upped my game: motion sensors, advanced power monitors, and 3 camera angles. At the next HOA meeting, she painted me as a public menace. I let her rant, then played the footage, charging data, charts, timestamps, and printed logs showing $187.24 in stolen electricity. I even unveiled my Tesla theft deterrent schematic. The board's response: they stripped Susan of her title, revoked my fine, and ordered her to repay the stolen electricity. When they mentioned a potential property lien, her face went ghost white. But Susan didn't back down. She tried sabotaging my irrigation box with a garden hose at 2 a.m., unaware it was rigged with motion-activated sprinklers. When the jets hit her, she screamed, slipped, and fled, soaked, back to her house. The next day, the HOA summoned me again. This time, I came prepared. The footage showed her trespassing, tampering, and clearly trying to sabotage my property. Her excuses fell flat, and she was officially censured. Then came the social sabotage: fake Facebook posts, flyers accusing me of manipulating electric fields, and calls to the city about unpermitted tech. All in vain. Me permits were airtight. Eventually, a Tesla rep showed up after Susan's formal complaint. I showed him everything: videos, logs, blueprints. He shook his head and left. 3 days later, Tesla flagged her as a high-maintenance liability. At the neighborhood block party, someone asked about her car's glitchy console. She froze. Another neighbor joked, Maybe it's haunted again. The crowd laughed, and Susan realized the tide had turned. Her flyers became unhinged rants about mind control towers and electromagnetic sabotage. She listed her house, but a viral video titled Susan's Free Ride, showing her stealing electricity, scared off realtors. The house wouldn't sell. Meanwhile, I launched a password-protected smart outlet called Power to the Polite. The HOA loved it. Susan wasn't invited to the consultation meeting. The final blow came during the holiday decor contest. Susan had won the past 2 years. This year, I entered with a sleek, solar-powered setup and a sign reading, "Powered by the sun, not the neighbors." It was a local hit. Susan placed fourth and moved out a week later. A sweet retired couple bought her house. The husband's first question? "So, is that outlet story real?" I smiled, handed him the password card, and said, "Welcome to the neighborhood." These days, I walk the block in peace. The sprinklers hum, the solar panels gleam, and my outlet remains wired to teach a lesson if needed. But there was one final twist. 3 months later, a certified letter arrived from Susan's legal team. She was suing me for psychological trauma, reputational harm, and technological terrorism, claiming the sprinkler incident gave her PTSD and she now flinched at the sight of garden hoses. Her Tesla still flickered when she passed my old house. I chuckled and called my lawyer. At the court hearing, Susan showed up in a neck brace and sunglasses, claiming she was mentally shattered. Her legal team presented photos of her soaked, screenshots from the video, and her car's flickering dashboard. Then it was my turn. My lawyer, a sharp woman named Laura, queued up a montage of time-stamped videos. Susan stealing electricity, trespassing, lying at HOA meetings, and getting caught red-handed in multiple sabotage attempts. Laura then dropped the final blow, a printed record from Tesla's technical support log, stating all anomalies in Susan's car were user-induced, not caused by external tampering. Tesla had also flagged her as a non-priority ruse. Client. The judge looked unimpressed. MS. Mitchell Keyboard for Mitchell, he said dryly. You illegally tapped into your neighbor's electricity, violated HOA policies, committed trespass, and then accused him of terrorism. You're lucky he only installed sprinklers. Case dismissed. The gavel hit the bench. Susan gasped as the courtroom stifled laughter. Outside the courthouse, a local news outlet interviewed me. I declined to comment but offered a smile and one line. Respect is earned, not siphoned. Susan vanished from the public eye. Last I heard, she'd moved to Nevada and sold her Tesla. As for me, I've got my peace and quiet back. A bit wiser, a lot more respected. Now, every time I hear my solar panels hum, I smile because sometimes all it takes to restore order is one well-placed outlet.